Waterproofing was named the best of the best for the second straight year. H&H Termite Pest Control and Waterproofing, 520 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, online at hhpci.com. It's back, the Cleveland County Fair, September 29th through October 9th, packed with entertainment including 2 big demolition derbies, October 1st and 8th. Right Off for Rides will be there with 6 new rides, including The Beast. Shows include Hot Diggity Dog, Act Monsters Chainsaw, Renee Riddle, ventriloquist comedian and singer Sylvia Fletcher, The Victoria Circus, and more. Go online and get your advanced all-day armbands for just $20. The 2022 Cleveland County Fair, September 29th through October 9th. For more information, go online at clevelandcountyfair.com.
In the backfield, your quarterback scared, I see it in his eyes. Sent the receiver in motion, that's just a disguise. My linebackers, they stepping up, clog a hole, no letting up. Taking on no big blocks, on 4th down we get big stops. My secondary is balling out, your offense keeps stalling out. How many yards? Like none at all. Cause special teams come punt the ball and it's gone. And you never see me fair catch. I get a block and then I'm gone like a Lear jet. My helmet on, pass strap tight. My jersey shining in them Friday night lights. Win, win, we just came to win. Win, win,
Good evening and welcome to the Witherspoon Insurance Pregame of Shelby pregame show with Kevin, Dennis, and Shannon, and JP, as always, pushing the buttons so the people can sound good and hear. Because if I don't push the buttons, I mean, y'all would just be sitting there looking beautiful as you do, but no one will be able to hear the knowledge that you're going to drop, because all I say is nonsense.
I was wondering, do you write that?
No,
is that
literally.
Written, or is that just all off top?
It's really off the top of my head.
Is that where all your hair went to?
Pretty much, yeah.
I love you, brother. Good evening. Welcome to the Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby Prep Football Pregame Show, and dinner brought to you by Fats Cafe. JP, what did you order tonight?
I ordered the firecracker pasta and loaded mashed potatoes.
Shannon, I got you guys some chicken
I
tenders.
don't know what I got. Yeah.
You don't text me. I can get the boys some chicken tenders. Dennis, you had a change. What did you order tonight?
I ordered the combo, which is the chicken tenders, the shrimp, and the ribs. I got it covered.
I got a Kentucky bourbon chicken, some type of barbecue chicken wings and cheese fries. I don't know what it was. But anyway, I think Andre got some type of wings, and we got wings if he ever shows up again. We order him some every Friday.
Oh,
and then when he don't show up, we eat him at 11 o'clock, Will. So
it's his wife's
time.
It's his wife's birthday.
Oh, he ain't coming again, is he?
I told her, man.
Extra wings.
I told her I was sorry, but Will and I had a football date night.
Oh, okay. How did that go over? Not go over well.
Well, she didn't respond.
She's invited up here. We could order her some wings.
Yeah.
Or whatever she wanted, from Pat's Cafe. I think Nate and the guys over there. Of course, football Friday night again here in North Carolina. We've got, and across the nation, obviously, we've got 5 games here to watch and listen to tonight on KTC. I think we've got 8 total games we're covering. Before we start, we'll look at last week's games. Burns 48-28 over Watauga. Chase 50-0 over Cherryville. RS Central 27-20 over Chesney. Shelby 57-21 over High Brighton. Christ the King 14-13 over Bessemer City. South Caldwell 31-24 over Bandy's Drone. 62-6 over Highland Tech. Hendersonville 51-16 over Mountain Heritage. East Rutherford 21-14 over Madison. Irwin 32-27 over Brevard. Avery County falls 46-21 to McDowell. Cherokee 34-8 over Rosman. Let's see, Robbinsville 28-27 over Smoky Mountain, and Swain County 27 over Pisgah. Shannon, I'll let you do the other side.
McMichael defeated Carver 52-32. Andrews over Mitchell 44-27. North Henderson defeated Owen 44-34. North Wilkes over Allegheny 28-14. East Surrey over South Stokes 54-0. It was East Wilkes defeating Wilkes Central 36-16. Thomasville over Forbush 24-13. Mount Airy destroyed Ashe County 51-29. Lake Norman 37. Alexander Central 7. It was Raven Gap over AC Reynolds 37-28. That was a shocker to me.
Yeah, to me too.
East Henderson defeated North Buncombe 28-24. Freedom over Patton 40-14. Pine Lake Prep over Starmount 21-2. And Mountain Island and Union County.
It was 27-0.
27-0.
One thing on that game that we sort of got surprised about there, that as Kevin kept pointing out, the Raven Gap Nacogdoches Eagles, they're basically a prep school down in Georgia.
Yeah, they are. And I remember, it was baseball. I think they had some kids from Raven Gap to play Legion baseball for, it's up in the mountains. I can't remember who it was, but it was like the furthest team away. Anyway, they're kids from like all over. There were kids from Georgia, South Carolina, Florida. That's where they went to school. So, it's a prep school, and but it's still, I still thought AC Reynolds would beat them.
All right, guys, we've got highlights from last week. Let's go ahead and get through these. This is Christ the King at Bessemer City, 14-13 winners. Bessemer City went up 13-0. Looks like they was going to run away with it. And before the end of the night, no more scoring for the Yellow Jackets. Let's see if I can hit all the buttons right, see how this works. I got to hit one button right now here, Shannon. Maybe. Whoops, I lost it. Never mind. Let me get back out of that. All right, I'll get that set up just a second. Anyway, 14-13 Bessemer City. How did I lose that? Hitting the wrong buttons there. I'm double audio at home. All right, now I think I'm ready for this. Let's see. Go back to Christ the King, 14-13. Oh. Fall over at Christ the King. What are you doing to me?
Couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear you. You said my name. I couldn't. All I heard was
You can't hear me?
crowd noise. No, I could hear you, but
Okay.
that was a loud video.
Okay, I can turn it down. Poor girl. All right. You could have just said, hey, I can't hear that. All right. Let's see. How about Chase, 50-0 over the Ironman. With the 8-yard touchdown run for the Chase Trojans. That made it 50-0 for Chase. Then we'll go over to RS Central. Now, we got highlights of them tonight against Hendersonville. So we're going to have, hopefully, some high-scoring contest in that. RS Central 27-20 over Chesney. This is what this game looked like up at RS Central last week. God, sometimes it's like a golf ball through a tree, Shannon. It's 90% air.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that right?
That's true.
All right. How about High Brighton and Shelby? 57-21. Shelby gets their first victory. And our last highlights from last week's game. We're going to have 8 highlights. Well, no, 5 highlights. We still got 5 or 6 highlights. Bulldogs over Watauga. Shannon, you was over at this game. 48-28.
They put that new I guess wrinkle in their system, Dennis. They'll put Ryan Thompson, especially inside the 5. They'll put him in the Wildcat.
Okay.
And bring in extra blockers, and that's pretty much unstoppable. I mean, that's just a good icing on the cake for Burns. Something else they found they could use as a weapon. And
so he's a better runner at the goal line than Mooney is.
He's more physical. He's not as tall as Ben, but he's more physical. He's faster. I think Thompson may be their best player in my opinion.
Yeah.
He plays defense. He's a great receiver. Just an all around good football player.
Well, they haven't done that in the past, so I'd have to probably attribute that to Coach Diamond.
Yeah.
Well, that brings up the standings, and let's get over to them. As I pull these up on the screen, you guys have them there in front of you as well. I'll let you guys read out some standings. I'll pull up some more fun graphics for the folks watching. If you're listening on the radio, 92.9 FM in Gaston County, 1590 AM, and then over in Cleveland County, 1015 FM, 1390 AM. You guys can watch the show every Friday night live, 5:30 to 7, the Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby pregame show on YouTube. And then what?
A friend of mine said he can't hear anything.
Okay, Shannon.
I'm just saying he said he can't hear on the radio.
I'll handle it during the break.
I know. I'm just.
You can't hear what now, Shannon?
He said.
Let's go over it right now.
He said he can't hear. He said we can't hear y'all.
Well, tell him to turn up his hearing aid.
It said while watching highlights, dead silent audio.
Okay, got it. So, good deal. All right, now we've got. Let's see, and you do know we're probably like a minute and a half behind. So if I did hit another button, it's probably better now. So, thank you, Shannon, for interrupting the show for that. Let's go over again. I'll let you do the standing, Shannon. How about trying that? Southern Piedmont 1A, 2A.
All right, hold on. Let me find my paper. Dennis, you do it. You got it in front. Oh, here we go.
Put your devil machine down over there.
Southern Piedmont 1A, 2A is the 3-1 is the Burns Bulldogs. 2-2 is Cherryville. 1-2 is East Gaston. Shelby's there at 1-3. And then Thomas Jefferson 0-3, Bessemer City 0-4, and Highland Tech 0-4.
All right, Dennis, go ahead. Y'all just keep going through some. I'm trying to.
How about the South Fork River 2A? This is an interesting lineup here. On top of this group is West Lincoln at 3-0, but Bunker Hill is also 3-0. Maiden is 2-1. Eastbrook is 2-1. Bandy's is 1-2. Lincolnton is 1-2. Newton Conover is 1-2, and West Caldwell is 0-3.
All right, the Western Foothills 2A, Chase along at the top at 4-0. Hendersonville at 3-1. Polk County 2-2. RS Central 2-2. Brevard 1-3. East Rutherford with a big win last week, stands in there at 1-3, and then Patton 0-4.
In the Big South 3A, the number 1 3A team in the state, according to some folks, Shannon, is Kings Mountain. But they're tied with South Point because South Point is also 3-0. Mm-hmm. Stuart Kramer is 2-1, and Crest is 2-1. So we've got a pretty strong conference going here. Ashbrook, whom Crest plays tonight, is 1-2. Forest View is 1-2. Hunter Huss is 1-2. And then you have North Gaston at 0-3.
All right, in the Western Lakes 3A, East Lincoln at the top at 3-0, Hickory at 2-1, Statesville and St. Stephen's both tied at 1-2. And then the bottom 4 teams are winless. North Lincoln 0-3, North Iredale 0-3, Fred T. Ford 0-3, and West Iredale 0-3.
Well, I find the Western Charters 1A interesting. You have Pine Lake Prep at 3-0. Then you have Mountain Island Charter at 2-0. Christ the King is at 4-0. So who's actually in first place there? Is it the 4-0 or the 2-0 or the 3-0?
That's Max Prep's doing right there.
There you go. Community School of Davidson is 2-1. Winston-Salem Prep is 1-2. Carver is 1-3. And Bishop McGinnis is 1-3.
All right, how about a special treat for you guys here?
Sure.
North Lincoln has added turf.
Oh, and, right.
Tonight's their first night up there. We were supposed to do the game, but we'll talk about that later. they're hosting Statesville tonight. We're going to have highlights of the game. However, with Mason Beam's going to go up there and get some highlights. If your folks are watching here at home, here's a pic of the new turf there from the press box. The Knight logo at the middle. Green grass, of course, white sidelines, blue sidelines. I think it was going to be a blue track too, as well, is what I was told, if I remember correctly. So make it a little stand out a little bit there up at Knight's Cast, up at North Lincoln. Now, I've got a couple more pictures. Let's pull up these. Here's some of the fellas on the field. I don't think it lists their names. It doesn't. It just says Coach Mark Ludwig's feed. I want to thank him for taking his pictures. Nice little picture there at the 25-yard line of the North Lincoln logo there on the field. And there's you an end zone shot. Black end zones, blue letters, white outlines, and another midfield shot there for the North Lincoln Knights. So nice little pretty pictures there for you, Shannon. All right, Shannon, you ready for we're going to take a break. JP, you ready? When we come back, we're going to do Shannon's top 10 and the KTC Broadcasting top 10 here on KTC Broadcasting's Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby pregame show on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price. With names like The Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General, and Travelers. Drop by the office today at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986.
The Renaissance Festival is back Saturdays and Sundays, October 1st through November 20th. New! Tickets limited. Save your dates while supplies last. New! Gates open at 9:30 a.m. Arrive early. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com. Don't miss it! Don't miss the Renaissance Festival! Sponsored by Visit Lake Norman. Visit Lake Norman, the lakeside of Charlotte. Huzzah!
Y'all ready for this?
Keep up with this. KTC Broadcasting and WhatsUpShopper.com are giving away three $333 shopping sprees for a total of $999 in shopping sprees. All you have to do is register at one of our participating sponsors, including Classic Volkswagen on East Franklin Boulevard, Gastonia, at Parker Family Feeds, Highway 18 North in Bellwood, at Carter Chevrolet, West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, at Bridges Hardware on West King Street in Kings Mountain, at the Falston Pharmacy, Highway 18 in Falston, at Cummings Furniture on West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, Parker Farm Service on Bessie Drive in Kings Mountain, at Butler's Tower on East King Street in Kings Mountain, at Family Auto, Highway 74 Bypass East in Shelby, and at Flooring America on Slater Street in Kings Mountain. The drawings will be held Friday, October 28th. See your local stores for details. Register today, sponsored by KTC Broadcasting and WhatsUpShopper.com. Folks Cleaners in Shelby and Boiling Springs is open for you. Let Folks Cleaners help you keep it clean. Folks Cleaners is open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. till 6 p.m., Saturdays 8 a.m. till noon. They take care of all your laundry needs and ask about their dry cleaner delivery service. Give them a call at 704-484-2004. Folks Cleaners, 1207 East Marion Street in Shelby and at 111 East College Avenue in Boiling Springs. Keep it clean with Folks Cleaners.
Have a happy fall with a stop in at Basic Finance in Shelby. Get a great fall loan today on the things you need. Maybe a new blower or trimmer or mower. Maybe a small home improvement loan. See Basic Finance. Loans from $500 to $7,500 can be yours. Schedule your appointment today by calling 704-481-0111. Open 8:30 to 5:30 Monday through Friday. That's Basic Finance, 306 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, right across from Shelby High School. And remember, golf on Saturday, church on Sunday. Before the big game, bring the family out to Jam & Jay's Pizza in Shelby. Jazzy Jeff Walker and his staff invite you in for great food and fun. And if you're in a hurry, you can order online at jamandjayspizza.com. Pick it up or delivery is available. And now Jam & Jay's Pizza Factory has employment opportunities available. Join the team today. That's Jam & Jay's Pizza Factory, located at 1011 Grove Street in Shelby, off Highway 74 East, right behind KFC. Like them on Facebook, too.
And we're back on the Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby pregame show with Kevin and the gang. they're just getting their ears on right now. So once they get on, we can get back to the show. Or they can get back to the show. Me, I'm trying to set up for tonight for the post-game show and for tomorrow morning during the Saturday morning sports talk. So
You're doing great, JP. We're just letting you, seeing how far on that line you can go.
Yeah, I'll go as far as I need to. I mean, people don't listen to me anyways. They watch the show to listen to y'all.
They watch the show. See, Shannon Single over here. If you're watching online, 704.
Stop.
I'm also single. If anybody cares.
704. 2 stud muffins single on the screen. Well, 3 probably, right, Dennis?
What can I say?
All right, so for all you folks watching us on your 70-inch screens,
come on, house of ill repute up in here now.
House of ill repute.
Oh goodness! Well, welcome back to the Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby Prep Football pregame show. I want to thank everybody for watching and listening. Hopefully, we got all the buttons mashed right the best we can, folks. All right, let's go over to there was the standings. So we did that. So now let's make them mad with the power poll. Now I did misprint at the bottom, so I'll go through those in the right order for you guys here. CJ's in the house to help. He's gonna move his dad's picks here in a minute. I don't know whether he knew that or not, but I'm glad he's here. Thought he was still in the football. That's not what he's here for. Number 39, Highland Tech. Number 38, Thomas Jefferson. Number 37, Pat. Number 36, Ford. Number 35, Bessemer City. Number 34, North Lincoln. Number 33, North Gas. Number 32, West Caldwell. 31, West Iredale. 30, North Iredale. 29, East Rutherford. 28, St. Stephen's. 27, Brevard. 26, Newton Conner. Number 25, Lincoln. 24, Cherville. 23, Shelby. 22, Forest View. And number 21, East Gaston. Dennis, 20 through 16. Sir.
All right, number 20. You've got Polk Central High School. They're 2-2, 1 power point. They're not doing too well. They're 114 points behind. Bandy's is number 19. They're 1-2 with 1 power point, and they're down 76 points. Kramer is 2-1, and they're number 18 with 1 power point and down 96 points. Hunter Huss, number 17, is 1-2 with 2 power points, and they are down 57. And Crest opponent tonight, Ashbrook, is number 16. They're 1-2 with 2 power points, and they're down 38 points.
So last week, with 20 teams having buys, it threw the poll in all kinds of disarray for a week, but we'll get organized back after this week, after some conference play, and everybody starts getting that straightened out. For you folks wondering at home how it works, you get 4 points for a 4A victory, 3 for a 3, 2 for a 2, and 1 for a 1. If you lose to a 4A team, you get 0 points taken away for playing a 4A school. You get 1 for, if you lose to a 3A, you get 2 if you lose for a 2A, and 3, you lose 3 points if you lose to a 1A school. So that's where the power points come from, if you were wondering there on the radio, and at home there on YouTube. And then we got tiebreakers with overall records, head-to-heads, defense, and more. So let's start. Shannon out 15.
15 is RS Central, 2-2 with 2 power points. At 14 is Eastbrook, 2-1 with 2 power points. Mountain Island Chargers, number 13, 2 power points. They are 2-0. Statesville, number 12, with 3 power points, are 1-2. And Crest Chargers are number 11 at 2-1 with 3 power points.
All right, Dennis, 10 through 6.
We have the Hickory Red Tornadoes at number 10. They're 2-1, 6 power points. They're down 88. Number 9, they have the Maiden Blue Devils that are 2-1, 6 power points, and they're down 49. At number 8, Hendersonville, 3-1 with 6 power points and down 67. South Point Red Raiders occupy the number 7 spot at 3-0 with 6 power points, and they're down 33. And number 6, the Terry Reinhardt West Lincoln Rebels are 3-0, 7 power points, and they're down 21.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, time to hit the top 5. Drum roll, please. Nice little on editing myself. Number 5, Chase Trojans at 4-0, guys. They got 7 points and 4 victories. Them and West have played a little bit lighter schedule than the Shelby Golden Lions, and I'm sure they'll all admit that, but they're all the way undefeated right now with 7 points. Chase gets the tiebreaker being 4-0 as opposed to 3-0. Kings Mountain 3-0, and East Lincoln both 3-0 with 8 power points. East Lincoln, however, gets the tiebreaker. They've only give up 8 points in 3 games, guys.
Yeah.
And Kings Mountains give up 26 in 3 games. Nothing to, shake a stick out there for Kings Mountain. But East Lincoln, how about that, guys? 8 points in 3 games. That's outstanding.
But who have they played?
A bunch of football teams.
Well, I didn't figure it was soccer scores.
High Brighton, Forest View, and
There you go.
I don't know who the other one was.
There you go.
Burns 3-1, 9 points, minus 67, is number 2 in the power poll. And then the Bunker Hill Bears for the second week in a row, 3-0, 9 power points. They host Lincoln tonight with a chance to get 2 points. Burns, so they can get to 11. Burns plays Highland Tech tonight. They can get to 10 power points. East Lincoln tonight with a victory could get up to 11 with a 3-point victory over Hickory. Kings Mountain could get up to 11 as well. So we could have a 3-way tie there, 11 points with Bunker Hill, East Lincoln, and Kings Mountain tonight if they all win there. So if you're looking at a 4-way or 3-way battle tonight for the number 1 spot between Bunker Hill, East Lincoln, and Kings Mountain going into next week for a little quick preview, guys.
And if you don't like this, it's like the weather in North Carolina. Just hang around a little while, and it will change.
It'll change next week, won't it? All right, now let's go over to Shannon's power poll. Where'd CJ go? Time to get down here.
I don't know. CJ.
So we're going to do Shannon's power poll. Now, this is an opinion power poll, not
Shannon's opinion.
Facts and stats or anything important, like that. This is just Shannon's opinion. So you know what they say about opinion, Shannon, right?
Yeah, mine's right.
Everybody's got goatees.
You want me to go wake him up, Shannon?
I'll get him down here.
He's either eating or asleep.
I can start it while you're going. All right, Shannon, number 10.
Number 10
in
will
your power poll
be the Statesville Greyhounds.
Statesville. We'll move them over to the 10 spot here for the folks watching.
Been on up.
All
right, number 9.
Number 9 is the Hendersonville Bearcats.
Bearcats, number 9. They're number 8 in the KTC power poll. Statesville's at 12. All right, Shannon, number 8.
Number 8, the Chase Trojans.
Trojans. Dun, 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 dun. All right.
Number 7 will be the Maiden Blue Devils.
Maiden. Coming in at number 7. He had them like number 2 a couple weeks ago, didn't you?
Yeah.
Has that changed?
Oh, yeah.
Number 6.
Number 6. You ain't got them up there, man.
Who?
The Shelby Golden Lions.
At 1-3?
Look who they played.
At 1-3?
They don't play Forest View, High Brighton, and School of the Blind.
So this don't have anything to do with what you've done. It's just whatever Shannon thinks, right?
Powers. You got to look at their schedule, who they played, though.
They're 1-3.
Okay. Still got to look at who they played. All right, number 5, the Crest Chargers.
All right, Chargers coming in at number 5.
Number 4, South Point Red Raiders.
South Point Raiders at number 4.
All right, number 3, East Lincoln Mustangs.
Mustangs, horsies.
Yep.
Riding in the corral at number 3.
Number 2, the Burns Bulldogs.
Bulldogs stay at number 2 in both polls.
And the number 1 team, the Kings Mountain Mountaineers.
Well, they are the number 1 3A team in the state, according to some polls.
Yeah.
So you don't have Bunker Hill
No.
in your top 10.
No. Absolutely not.
Bunker Hill is a mirage.
Last year went 10-1. This year 3-0. They've beat 3 3A teams.
Which teams have they beaten?
They beat 3. Well, how many? Who's lost? Who'd Crest lose to?
Crest lost to
Burns.
A
Lost to
2A
Burns.
2A team, right?
that would beat majority of those teams
Well,
up there.
that's not the point. They lost
That
to a
is the
2A
point.
team. And
You're looking at
Burns
strength.
beat
No,
3
you're looking
3A
at
teams.
you're looking at the.
I'm looking at the state of North
defense
Carolina.
stuff.
What they do.
Yeah, let's look at.
They
them.
say that
the
those
state.
2A schools cannot play in the 3A. They're not good enough.
No, that ain't what they say.
Yeah.
That ain't got
That's
nothing to
what
do
they
with
say.
it. That
Then
doesn't
why
have
won't they let
anything to
them
do
play?
with it.
Let's
Won't have
play.
anything to do with it.
Let's play then.
Now,
Now you can volunteer to play up. Didn't Huss do that one year?
yeah, they
Yeah.
played.
I believe so. You can volunteer to play up anytime
They
you want.
played 3A when they should have been ranked
Right.
2A.
They were
Instead of
2A
playing 1A
numbers,
and 2A
yeah.
teams, you can play some 3A and 4A schools.
But Huss is not the smallest school in Gaston County. Everybody's like, oh, gosh, look at what they did. But they were like in the middle of the pack. They weren't even the smallest school, but they played up, and everybody said, oh, well, they only have 600 students. No, they only have about 1,000 kids down there. I know that for a fact. Everybody's trying to put them on a fact. Everybody's trying to put them on a pedestal. But I'm not saying that about negative
Well,
view.
the other thing, Shannon, in addition to the football played on the field, you got to pay the bills, which means you got to have a gate.
You got to, yeah.
And those schools that were at 3A would bring fans.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't think the Bears have played a tougher schedule
Are you kidding?
than the Chase Trojans?
No.
No. Well, no, that's just,
Huh?
that's
Maybe.
a good point.
Huh?
That's a good point. I will admit that.
But
All right.
Chase is real. They're Hendersonville. That's going to be Chase's juggernaut, I believe. But they play them at home, so that may help them.
But if I've
This
got if I've got a Ferrari and you've got a Fiat, and potentially, I might be a little better than you. Chase has got a Ferrari of football teams.
They got some good players at really good spots, really important spots for the Trojans. All right, guys, let's take another break, and when we come back, we'll start picking some of this week's games. I tell you what, let's read out tonight's games. Let's do that so everybody knows what games are what. Tonight we've got 5 broadcasts. I'll do those and then turn those over the rest of the left side to Dennis. Bulldogs and Highland Tech tonight on YouTube. You can watch that with Tom Cinefani, Matt Royster, Trent Marty over at Highland. Now they're playing Highland Tech, but that's at Hunter Huss. If you were planning on going to that game, folks, you got to go to Hunter Huss, not Highland Tech. They're not at Highland Tech tonight. They're at Hunter Huss playing against the Bulldogs. Shelby's at Cherryville tonight. Remember, if you're coming in from Shelbytown, I know in the past you've actually parked on the side, the visitor side now. There is no parking over there now, so you got to park on the home side. There's a visitor's gate and a home gate, but there is no. I don't think you can enter on the other side anymore for Shelby fans. It hasn't been back to Cherryville in a long time. I know you guys used to come a lot. Ashbrook at Crest tonight. We'll have that on WHS. Rob Roop and Jeff Jones have that call tonight.
And that parking is really messed up over there.
They're working on the gymnasiums, the
Auditorium.
I know somebody.
Another big word I couldn't pronounce.
I know somebody that's had seats over there for years and years and years, and they gave them up because of the parking
Had
situation.
trouble parking. Let's see.
And there was
then-
a solution to that, too. They could have played Shelby at Shelby, Burns at Burns, and Kings Mountain at Kings Mountain, and it would have solved 90% of their parking problems. But, they didn't think of that. And they played 2 years in a row at Crest following that.
So we've got the other one. We've got Bandies at West Lincoln tonight. That's the Lincoln County game of the week. David Potter and Jason Sane. That'll be a option fest tonight. Fullback dives galore up there. All right, Dennis, I'll let you finish out the rest of that left side and Shannon the right.
All right, we have the North Iredell Raiders taking on the Ford Tigers. We have the Hickory Red Tornadoes taking on the East Lincoln Mustangs. The Patton Panthers and the Polk County Wolverines tangle tonight. Hendersonville Bearcats are engaging RS Central Hilltoppers. The Lincolnton Wolves take on that number 1 team, the Bunker Hill Bears. The Statesville Greyhounds are up at the new turf at North Lincoln. Brevard Blue Devils travel to East Rutherford. West Caldwell Warriors are playing Newton Conover. Eastbrook Cavaliers are playing the Maiden Blue Devils.
All right, real quick on the highlights. We'll have highlights from Burns, Crest, Ashbrook and Crest, Jefferson, and Bessemer City. Then we'll have highlights from Statesville at North Lincoln, Hendersonville at RS Central, and Brevard at East Rutherford tonight. So we'll have 2 Rutherford County highlights plus 1 on the radio. Jefferson at Bessemer City for you Rutherford County fans. Big night for you here on KTC. All right, Shannon, right side, the only one note I have, we will have highlights Huss at Kings Mountain tonight.
All right, so Mountain Island Charter will go over to Pine Lake Prep, Christ the King, going up to Winston-Salem Carver. Lake Norman Charter will be at Union County Cardinals. Hunter Huss, as Kevin mentioned, will be at Kings Mountain. East Gaston will be going up to Cherokee to play them the Braves. North Gaston will be going to Forest View. South Point will be at Stuart Kramer. Alexander Central will be at Marvin Ridge. High Brighton will be going to South Caldwell. West Iredell will be at St. Stephen's. Ashe County going to Watauga. Drone will be going up to Owen. Bishop McGinnis will be coming down to the Community School of Davidson, and Freedom will be at Central Cabarrus.
All right, we'll be back in a few minutes here. We'll start picking games, going through all those ourselves here in just a few moments here on ktcbroadcasting.com.
Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price. With names like The Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General, and Travelers. Drop by the office today at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986.
We keep hearing Shelby needs a good steakhouse. Well, Shelby has one. It's the best kept secret in Shelby. It's a Creekside Seafood and Steak with all of your favorite cuts, ribeyes, New York strips, sirloin, filet, and more. Only choice or higher USDA beef. Hand cut and cooked to your specifications. And don't forget about their fish plates. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, it's the Creekside Seafood and Steaks. 1025 Kaiser Street off Highway 74 East in Shelby. Open Wednesday through Saturday 8 till 8. Sunday lunch from 11 to 2:30. Like them on Facebook too. And now the Creekside Seafood and Steak has employment opportunities.
Happy Smokers Tobacco and Vape at 737 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. In the same development near Walmart Supercenter is North Carolina's favorite smoke shop. Water pipes, hand pipes, CBD, e-cigs, cradle, vapes, and vaporizers. Delta 8 and Delta 10 products such as edible and cartridges and disposable pens is all you need in one stop. Also check out the Big Cigar Room. Open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Sundays from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Happy Smokers Tobacco and Vape at 737 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby near the Walmart Supercenter.
A big crowd is on their feet here at the Bristol Motor Speedway.
Hamlin working over Bubba Wallace, but has to fight off Kyle Larson.
Oh, Christopher Bell comes flying into turn one right alongside the second place car of Kevin Harvick.
To the inside of Elliott, it's going to be Kevin Harvick. He tries to make the pass.
Hamlin gets out of shape, gets up to the outside wall, pounds it.
Larson now drives hard to the inside.
It's the Bass Pro Shops night race at Bristol. Saturday, September 17th at 6:30.
On Carolina Country WCSL 92.9 FM, 1590 AM, and online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
Built upon a solid foundation of cast iron and steel, the Kubota L-Series is part of our under 100 horsepower tractor lineup rated #1 for reliability. They feature powerful Kubota diesel engines and easy operation. The durable Kubota L-Series. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Your Kubota dealer is Parker Farm Service, located at 126 Bessie Drive on Oak Grove Road at the Highway 74 bypass in Kings Mountain. Are your drains not draining? Are your sewer lines backing up? Have you no water? Things like those will drive you plumb crazy. Don't let that happen to you. Call on Olmsted Plumbing in Forest City. They'll clear up your drains and even do a camera inspection of your sewer lines. And they have water treatment systems and water heaters too. For residential or commercial, call Olmsted Plumbing at 828-245-7302. Online at olmstedplumbing.com. Like them on Facebook too. And right now, they have employment opportunities.
And welcome back to the Witherspoon Spurs of Shelby pregame show with Kevin and the guys. They're getting their ears back on, so we'll be hearing them in a moment. So I already turned them on, so as soon as they can hear me.
Well, the Joker's done looking at the camera for the folks. We just scared everyone at home.
Yeah.
Scared them all. That's CJ checking in with the folks at home. Make sure you got a close-up of his braces and nose hair there. Welcome back to the show. All right, let's predict some games. Freedom's at Central Cabarrus tonight. Vikings hosting the Patriots. We'll start there in the bottom right corner there, Shannon, and work our way around, guys. Let me find a smart board for everybody.
Are we just picking scores? We're going to talk about them.
Let's see. We got 45 minutes. You can talk about them a little bit. Just don't, take forever.
Okay. Well, Dennis, I got Freedom averaging 25 a game. Central Cabarrus is averaging 14 a game. That alone right there, you know, you got to be able to put the ball in the end zone. Freedom can do a little bit better. So I think Freedom wins 30-20 over Central Bears.
Well, I agree with you, Shannon, from the standpoint, but I've got the score 24-14 Freedom.
All right, next game, Bishop McGinnis at Community School of Davidson.
Bishop McGinnis, they come in averaging 21, giving up 36. Community School of Davidson, they're averaging 47, but they're giving up 28. Their quarterback, A.J. Serrani, he's averaging 353 yards per game. That's why I think Community School of Davidson will win this one pretty easily, 56-21.
Well, I'm going to go with the Community School of Davidson as well, Shannon. I have the score not quite that well. I have the score 34 for Bishop McGinnis and 34 for Community School of Davidson, 28 for Bishop McGinnis.
Drone Wildcats, 3-1 on the season, have beat Thomas Jefferson, Patton, and Highland Tech. They lost in overtime to Eastbrook by 1. They're at Owen tonight. Owen's 0-3, and they have lost to Chase, Albemarle, and North Henderson.
Owen's giving up over 50 points a game, Dennis. That right there is a problem. Drone 49-0-7.
Oh, 49-0-7. That's an interesting thing. I'm not sure Drone can score that many. I'm going to make it 32 for Drone and 7 for Owen.
Watauga in Ashe County tonight. Watauga's 3-1. They beat T.C. Roberson, Maiden, and Mitchell. Lost to Burns 48-28 last week. Ashe County on the season 2-2. They beat Wilkes Central and West Wilkes, but they lost to the north side of the county, North Wilkes, and they lost to Mount Airy.
I got to see Watauga last week.
Ashe County at Watauga.
Yeah.
I said that wrong.
Yeah, what stood out to me was the size of Watauga. They are big, but Burns' athleticism got him in the second half. Now, they do have a quarterback, Maddox Green. We saw him a while ago in the highlights. He's decent at throwing the ball, but what makes him that much better is his elusiveness behind that big offensive line. And Burns just lost him at times, and I think that's why he was successful the way he was last week. I like Watauga in this one. I think they'll win 38-13.
I like Watauga's size. I like their quarterback. If he doesn't have to do quite as much on the defensive side, maybe he can be a little better on the offensive side. I've got Watauga over Ashe 44-14.
0-3 West Iredale at 1-2 St. Stephen's. West Iredale's lost to Lake Norman, Newton Conover, and South Iredale, while St. Stephen's at 1-2 beat Bandy's to start the season 26-13, then lost to Bunker Hill and Maiden the last 2 weeks. St. Stephen's at home hosting West Iredale. Shannon.
West Iredale, they're averaging 4 points a game. So there's your problem. St. Stephen's wins 42-6.
Well, I don't have them scoring quite that much. The mercy rule, I guess. I've got St. Stephen's 24, West Iredale 0.
Been a lot of years since you said High Brighton 1-3 starting this season, and they've lost to East Lincoln, Hunter Huss, and Shelby. They beat West Caldwell 60-14. This week, they're at South Caldwell, and South Caldwell, however, is 3-1. They beat West Caldwell, the Hickory Hawks, and Bandy's, and they lost to Hickory. South Caldwell 3-1 at 1-3, or hosting 1-3 High Brighton. Shannon.
Well, High Brighton's scoring over 30, but they're giving up over 50, almost 50 a game. South Caldwell, they got a good running back, Sean Moore. He's averaging 168 yards a game. But the thing I think what's going to help High Brighton is who they've played. The teams they've gotten beaten by were, they were probably better teams. They faster and everything like that. So I think High Brighton, I think they go into South Caldwell and win this one. And I've got the score 28-14 over South Caldwell.
Well, we're pretty close, but I give the home field advantage to South Caldwell, and I have them winning 28-21 over High Brighton.
Marvin Ridge is 1-3 on the season, hosting 2-2 Alexander Central Cougars. Marvin Ridge this season won their first game last week over Parkwood, 24-16. They lost to Ardrey Independence, and Monroe. Alexander Central playing the big boys this week after beating Hickory, beating North Gaston, getting beat pretty bad by AC Reynolds and Lake Norman. Shannon, will the Cougars have any luck in Marvin Ridge tonight?
Yeah, they're averaging 16 points a game, giving up 27. Their main workhorse is running back Logan Shoemaker. He's averaging about 80 yards a game. They've got some other guys in there that also run the ball. Marvin Ridge, they're coming in only scoring 14, giving up 29. So just by that, and their pure athleticism, I like Alexander Central here, 28. It'd be close, 28-20.
Well, I'm going with Alexander as well, and I have them 28-24 over the Marvin Ridge Mavericks.
South Point, 3-0, hosting 2-1 Kramer. Did I say that? Did I get that right? No, South Point's at Kramer. South Point 3-0 at 2-1 Kramer. Kramer this year lost to Bunker Hill, then beat Bessemer City and East Gaston, while South Point's 3 victories are over Lincoln, East Gaston, and RS Central. Shannon.
So South Point, I think it's going to be a good ball game. Let's start with Stuart Kramer. They're averaging 36 a game. They're giving up 32. Quarterback Justin Rockamore, he's averaging 291 yards a game. He has 12 touchdowns already on the season. His main targets are Tyler Ward and Isaiah Johnson.
Did he get a COVID year? It seems like he's been there for
I know.
Forever.
Well, he started when he may have started when he was
his
a freshman.
brother.
Yeah, he had a brother. Yeah, he had an older brother too. But those 2 receivers combined, they've got 14 touchdowns. Now, South Point comes in, they're averaging 39, only giving up 11. They're led by the running back Cam Medlock. He's averaging 135 yards a game. With 7 touchdowns, and then also Patrick Blee, he's averaging 77 yards per game. I think this will be a good game, but South Point's just going to be too strong for him, I believe. I got South Point 38, Stuart Kramer 28.
Well, I like Rockmore. He's a real good player. He just needs a team around him, and I've got South Point 52, Stuart Kramer 32.
All right, over in the other south side of the county, Forest View, 1-2, hosting the 0-3 North Gaston Wildcats. Wildcats have lost to East Gaston, Alexander Central, and Chase. Forest View has lost to Burns and East Lincoln, and they beat Freedom last week, or 2 weeks ago, 13-7. Shannon, what you got on this one?
Well, North Gaston, they don't have big numbers. T.J. Belton's their quarterback. He's only throwing for 64 yards a game. Running back J.J. Gordon, he's only averaging 56 yards a game. As a team, they're only scoring 10 points a game. They're giving up 36. Forest View, now they're only averaging 4 points a game, okay? And they're giving up 34. But again, as Kevin just mentioned, teams they've played, I think, Burns, when you play Burns and East Lincoln, I think that says a lot. Jackson Hill's their quarterback. He's averaging 96 yards a game. And Christian Holland, the running back, with 67 yards. I don't think you can't let the averages fool you. Forest View's a better team than what they're showing. They just play some pretty good competition. I think they'll win this one 28-21.
Well, I agree with you about Forest View. It's who they played, made them tougher. I've got them down for 27-7 over North Gaston.
East Gaston, 1-2, taking a gamble up the mountain to Cherokee. At 1-3 are the Braves. East Gaston's beat North Gaston 28-8, lost to South Point and Stuart Kramer. Cherokee, on the other hand, at 1-3, has lost to Smoky Mountain, Franklin, Choctaw Central from Mississippi. I don't know how that got. They got, I guess, tribe game there because it's Choctaw Central. They're the Warriors. And Rosman, they beat Rosman 34-8. So Cherokee at home against East Gaston. The Warriors pull off a victory up the mountain, Chen.
Well, East Gaston, they're led by quarterback Trent Sherrill. He's averaging 118 yards a game. He only has 2 touchdowns on the season. The ground game is Ben Summey and Sir Stovall. Now, while East Gaston is a decent team, this is a huge drop-off from what they had last year. The Cherokee, they come in averaging 14 a game, giving up 22. Their running back is Chase Calhoun. He leads the way for them on the ground. And as much as I like East Gaston, I think Cherokee wins this one at home. I got Cherokee 28, East Gaston 26.
Well, I don't know who's got the better casino, East Gaston or the Cherokees, but I'm going to go with the East Gaston Warriors 21-14 over the Cherokee Braves.
Huss 1-2 at Kings Mountain tonight. This used to be a big battle, Shannon, but I don't know about tonight. They lost 45-0 at Hickory Ridge. They lost Central Cabarrus 32-7. They beat High Brighton 49-42, however, but everybody else has beat High Brighton worse than that. Kings Mountain hosting Huss tonight. Kings Mountain so far on the season, if my clicker would work, has beaten Shelby 28-26, Asheville 24-0, and Burns 27-0. So they haven't been scored on in almost a month now, Shannon.
All right, well, Hunter Huss comes in averaging 25, giving up 40. Quarterback Javarion Brown, he's averaging 85 yards in the air and 99 yards on the ground. Kings Mountain's led by quarterback Lamont Littlejohn III. He's averaging 146 in the air. Running backs Caleb Holland and Teddy Jeffries are a good answer to that passing game for Kings Mountain. And as good as Kings Mountain's offense is, their strength lies on their defensive front. I think that's going to be the difference tonight. I don't think it's going to be a blowout because Kings Mountain seems to always have problems with teams who are very fast. And look at the playoffs with Monroe and even first game of the season against Shelby. And so I think Kings Mountain wins this one, but I think it's going to be a little closer than what people think. I think it's going to be 28-16 over Hunter Huss.
Well, to all my friends in Kings Mountain, I'm going with Greg Lloyd over the Hunter Huss Huskies, and I am predicting a blowout. Kings Mountain 63, Hunter Huss 7.
Ooh. As Ernest would say, Lake Norman Charter 2-2 at Union Academy tonight, 1-3. Lake Norman Charters beat South Lake Christian and Winston-Salem Prep, lost to Christ the King and Corvion Community of Charlotte. Union Academy has won 42-0 over Wake Prep Academy of Wake Forest. They lost to Christ the King of Huntersville, lost to Forest Hills of Marshville, and lost to Mountain Island Charter 27-0 of Mount Holly, obviously. So, Shannon, what you got on this one?
Well, Lake Norman Charter comes in averaging 21, giving up 13. Union Academy's averaging 15, giving up 26. I think it'll be a close game. I'll pick Union Academy 21-16.
Well, in this case, I'm going with Lake Norman Charter Knights in a close one, 14-13 over Union County Cardinals.
Christ the King is 4-0 going up to Carver tonight at 1-3. Christ the King's beat Corvion, Union Academy, Lake Norman Charter, and Bessemer City by 1 last week. We saw the highlights earlier in that one. Carver is 1-3. They lost to Northmore. Atkins beat Highland Tech 42-0 and lost to McMichael last week 52-32.
So for Christ the King, the quarterback is Reed Maxwell. He's averaging 129 in the air, has 8 touchdowns. The running back is Fausto Arias. He's averaging 90 yards on the ground. They're averaging 19 points a game, giving up 9. Carver comes in at scoring 18 a game, giving up 26. Not too sure what's going on or what's happened up at Carver. They used to be a powerhouse program. Maybe some schools were built. I don't know, but not anymore. It seems like they've dropped off tremendously. So I think Christ the Kings wins this one pretty easily. I got it 28-6 over Carver.
Well, I got a little Carver pride coming through here. And they are playing at home. So I have Christ the King winning, though, but it's 21-20, Christ the King.
All right. Then we've got Mountain Island Charter at Pine Lake Prep tonight. Let's see. Let me find my Mountain Island Charter button that I just had up here. Mountain Island Charter is 2-0 in the season. They beat Corvion and Union Academy. Pine Lake Prep is 3-0 on the season. They beat Thomas Jefferson, Bessemer City, and Starmount last week, or 2 weeks ago. It was last week, 21-2 last week. Shannon?
Yeah, this game, I think, it'll be for first place in the conference, or at least tie for first. Mountain Island comes in averaging 18, giving up 8. Led by quarterback Tiger Coffin. He's averaging 129 in the air, and running back Nate Eaton, he's averaging 133 on the ground. So they're pretty balanced offensively. And the Pine Lake Prep comes in averaging 21, but they've only given up 3 points all year. They're led by quarterback Nick Reed. He's averaging 157 a game. He has 6 touchdowns, and running back Noah Murphy, he's averaging 78 yards on the ground. I like the running game of Mountain Island Charter, and I think they'll win this one in a close one. I've got it 22-20 over Pine Lake Prep.
Well, I'm going with the Mountain Island Raptors to win over Pine Lake Prep tonight by a score of 28-27.
Yeah, it'll be a close game.
All right, JP, When we come back, we're going to do the other side of the bracket here on the Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby, North Carolina Prep Football Pregame Show, brought to you by, of course, Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby, KTCBroadcasting.com.
Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price. With names like The Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General, and Travelers. Drop by the office today at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986.
Coppermine Farms presents in concert Darryl Worley along with Bucky Covington Saturday, October 1st at 6 p.m. with special guests Downtime Habit, J. Mark Bailey, and Janine Tirana.
Got a call last night from an old friend's wife, said I hate to bother you.
Coolers are welcome, BYOB, but no brown bagging. For more information, go to copperminefarms.com. Bring your lawn chairs and enjoy the show. Saturday, October 1st at 6 p.m. Coppermine Farms, 154 Maze Road, Forest City.
Sounds like life to me.
The 30th anniversary sale continues at Essener Auto Sales in Shelby. Come check them out all year long with some great anniversary specials. Find out how easy it can be for you to be one of their satisfied customers. Yes, 30 years ago, Susie and Richie started Essener Auto Sales, striving to give you the best deal possible on a quality pre-owned vehicle. See them today at 417 South Post Road in Shelby, online at srautosales.com. See their page at whatsupshopper.com and like them on Facebook too. That's Essener Auto Sales in Shelby.
Huzzah! Escape to the Renaissance Festival. Saturdays and Sundays, October 1st through November 20th. Presented by Pepsi. There's music, comedy, circus entertainments. Eat, drink, be merry. Sponsored by Harris Tita. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com. While supplies last. The Carolina Renaissance Festival is sponsored by Sunbelt Rentals. For all your equipment rental needs. Equipment service guaranteed. Huzzah!
New at Hojo Power Sports and Equipment in Shelby, the Alto Z zero-turn mowers. What's the difference? Tracks. That's right, these mowers have tracks, not wheels. Come check them out. They also have a good stock of Hustler and Husqvarna zero-turn mowers. And they now have the gas-powered DeWalt Professional zero-turn mowers with 0% financing for 60 months. But hurry, this offer ends September 30th. At Hojo Power Sports and Equipment, 110 Grigg Street, off South Lafayette Street in Shelby, online at hojopower.net. Like them on Facebook too. Having trouble getting your oil changed during the week? If so, we've got good news for you. All Ray Tire Center in Cherryville, Shelby, Forest City, and Morganton is now open on Saturdays. You don't have to wait in line for a so-called inexpensive quick lube. Now you can save time and money at All Ray Tire Center. Family owned and operated with 4 area locations on East Main Street in Cherryville, West Main Street in Forest City, West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, and on Carbon City Road in Morganton. That's All Ray Tire Center.
Full Throttle Power Sports in Gastonia has just gotten a whole lot bigger, and we mean a whole lot bigger. They have just purchased MS Power Sports in Gastonia and are now your dealer for Honda, Suzuki, and Kawasaki, along with CF Moto, Yamaha, and Polaris. Golf carts too. One big dealer under one big roof, plus a complete parts and service department. Full Throttle Power Sports, 101 Indian Walk off I-85 in Lowell, online at ncfullthrottle.com, and see their page at whatsupshopper.com.
There's nothing like cash in your pocket, especially if you can turn your scrap into cash with the help of Gaston Used Auto Parts and Recycling in Gastonia. For over 25 years, this locally family-owned and operated business has been giving some of the best prices for scrap. They take tungsten scrap carbide, as well as stainless steel, aluminum, copper, and brass. Need help? Gaston Used Auto Parts and Recycling will supply you with a roll-off container to help make your recycling easy. Turn your scrap into cash with the help of Gaston Used Auto Parts and Recycling. 305 Dogwood Street in Gastonia. Call 704-827-9468. Online at GastonUsedAutoPartsAndRecycling.com.
And we're back on the Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby pregame show with Kevin, Dennis, and Shannon. Getting back, we had a little bit of a longer break this time because Calvin wanted me to take a double for some interesting reason. I don't know why, but I just work here, so.
All right, we're glad to have you back here, JP. Good to see you. Thumbs up. Give you a thumbs up. How was the week?
It was
You
good.
ready for some fats?
Yeah, I am actually.
We'll
yeah.
have some fats here.
It was actually surprising this work schedule this week. I actually didn't work today, which is weird because usually I always work on Fridays, but I didn't today. So.
Huh.
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed it. I had enough hours this week, so. All
right.
I was able to relax.
Hope you enjoyed your dinner here just a little bit. Welcome back to the show. Dennis and Shannon ready to pick some more games for you guys.
Let's go.
Let's start off there at the bottom. Eastbrook and Maiden tonight. Eastbrook at Maiden. The Blue Devils on the season are 2-1. They've beaten Ford by a lot, Stevens by 10, and lost to Watauga by 4. Eastbrook, on the other hand, we told you they had an overtime game with Drawn that they won by 1. Lost to Freedom by 13, beat Patton 28-0. Shannon, what you got?
They're averaging 20. Eastbrook's averaging 25 a game, giving up 20. Led by running back Caden Buff. He's averaging around 90 yards on the ground. One thing about Eastbrook, they're not going to do much. They're much flashy stuff. They're just like to run the ball and just keep it very simple. Now Maiden comes in, led by quarterback Wesley Thompson. He's averaging 179 with 6 touchdowns, and his prime receiver is Chris Culliver. He's averaging 119 a game. He has 4 touchdowns. In my opinion, this game will not be too close. I think Maiden wins 49-17.
Well, I've got Maiden winning this game, and I have them down with a score of 32-21 over Eastbrook.
All right, next game up, we've got West Caldwell and Newton Conover. West Caldwell 0-3, lost to South Caldwell, RS Central, and Highbright. Newton Conover 1-2. They've lost to Polk County and Hickory and beat West Iredell.
So West Caldwell, they're averaging 19 a game, giving up 43 points a game. Now, Dennis, 2 weeks ago against RS Central, the quarterback for West Caldwell was a kid by the name Jalen Patterson. He threw for 514 yards.
Wow.
He had 5 touchdowns, but they still lost.
Okay.
And now
the Panthers recruiting him.
Yeah, no doubt. The Newton Conover comes in. They're averaging 33. They're giving up 27. And, hey, if Patterson's your quarterback, I think they found something special there. I like West Caldwell in this game. I'd like them 42-21 over Newton Conover.
Wow. I'm impressed. I've seen Newton Conover, and I wasn't impressed. I haven't seen West Caldwell, but those numbers that you gave us are pretty impressive. So I'm probably going to lean to West Caldwell tonight, and I'm going to do it by a score of 34-28 over Newton Conover.
He's probably all they got. 514 yards in the air.
Yeah.
East Rutherford's at home tonight. We'll have highlights of this game. 1-3 against 1-3 Brevard. They've lost to West Henderson, Tuscola, McDowell. They beat Madison last week for the first win for Coach Russ in the game. 1-3 is Brevard. Like I said, they've beat Pisgah to open the season, then lost to Robbinsville, Asheville, and Irwin. Shannon.
Brevard, they're averaging 14. They're giving up 27. East Rutherford, they're only averaging 9 points a game. They're giving up 38. Brevard's quarterback is Colt Swicegood. He's averaging 89 yards a game. But I think, Dennis, the win last week by East Rutherford, I think that may have lit a fire. And I know Coach Russ has some things on Facebook and Twitter about things they're doing up at East Rutherford for the field and for tonight's home game. It'll be exciting. I think East Rutherford will be more athletic, so I'm going to go with them at home. They pick up their second win on the season. I got East Rutherford 21, Brevard 20.
Well,
they'll tear the goalpost down if they win the.
They probably will. But in order to save the goalpost, I'm picking Brevard 21-14 over the East Rutherford Cavaliers. It's for the goalpost.
For the goalpost, yeah. So next game will be the Statesville Greyhounds. They will be traveling up to North Lincoln to play on the turf tonight against North Lincoln. Dennis, what you think about that one?
Well, the Statesville Greyhounds in the past have been a very speedy team. You talked earlier about, speed, and Statesville has fit that mold. I don't know what's happened to Statesville this year. They haven't performed up to par for Statesville. North Lincoln, they've been a little off this year, but they got that new turf. They've got a big event opening up tonight. I'm going to go with North Lincoln Knights tonight, and I'm going to go with a score of 28-24 with North Lincoln.
All right. Well, I think it's been a few seasons since these two teams met and both had losing records. Statesville's coming in averaging 19 a game, giving up 21. They're led by quarterback Noah Owens. He's averaging 94 yards in the air. Now, North Lincoln comes in, they're averaging 10 points. They're giving up 22. So they're neither one of them's great at putting the ball in the end zone, especially North Lincoln. They're led by running back Cody Morris and quarterback Connor Carson. Statesville's proven they can at least put points on the board, and that's why I like them in this game. I know it'll be exciting. They're on the turf and everything, but that's just, when you're playing a team that is faster than you are, that's just going to make them that much faster. So I'm going with the Greyhounds in this one. I don't think it's close. I got Statesville 30, North Lincoln 13.
All right. Lincoln at Bunker Hill tonight. Wolves lost to South Point 28-13, beat North Lincoln by 3, 2017, lost 27-0 at home to East Lincoln. Bunker Hill is 3-0. We talked about them earlier. They beat Kramer, St. Stephen's, and North Iredale to get to 3-0. Bears hosting the Wolves. Who wins that fight out in the woods tonight, Shannon?
Lincoln, they're coming in averaging 11, giving up 24. Quarterback Andre Bose is their main guy. He's averaging 110 yards in the air. Bunker Hill comes in averaging 36, giving up 22. Quarterback Reddick Robinson, he's averaging 186. He has 4 touchdowns on the season. And running back Jason Willis Jr., he's averaging 211 yards a game with 6 touchdowns. This is one of those. I think Bunker Hill is going to be too much for Lincoln, especially at home. I got Bunker Hill 45, Lincoln 21.
Well, Shannon, I've got Bunker Hill favored in this one by a score of 38-13 for the Lincoln Wolves.
All righty, that sets up then RS Central tonight hosting Hendersonville. We'll have highlights of this game tonight. Hendersonville comes down 3-1, RS Central 2-2. The Hilltoppers have beat West Caldwell and Chesney. They've lost to South Point and McDowell. Hendersonville, on the other hand, has beat North Henderson, East Henderson, and Mountain Heritage, but they lost to West Henderson. Shannon?
Got blown out by West Henderson.
34-20.
Oh, yes. I thought it was worse than that. Okay.
No.
All right, so Hendersonville comes in averaging 43, giving up 19. Quarterback Elijah Gibbs, he's averaging 203 yards in the air. He has 10 touchdowns. And running back Hezi Rudisel, averaging 106 yards on the ground with 5 touchdowns. And RS comes in averaging 30, giving up 35. Quarterback Trey Shearer, he's averaging 78 yards in the air and 54 yards on the ground. But they also rely on running back, we talked about him a while ago, Malachi Costin. He's averaging 82 yards on the ground. He has 3 touchdowns. I think this is his senior year. He's been there 3 years or started for 3 years. This will be a good game to watch, but I think Henderson will be too strong in the end. Hendersonville 42, RS 30.
Well, they are playing at RS, and that the highlights that Kevin showed earlier showed a real good running back, a big kid who who can blast through the line, but he just doesn't blast through enough times. Hendersonville, I think tonight, will pull this one out 34-28.
All right, Polk County 2-2 at home tonight against Patton. Polk County has beat Landrum and Newton Conover, lost to Christ School and West Henderson. Patton is 0-4 on the season. They've lost to Eastbrook, Drone, Wilkes Central, and Freedom. Shannon.
Polk County quarterback Casey Beeler, he's averaging 178 in the air. He has 8 touchdowns. They have a running back named Angus Weaver. He's averaging 150 yards on the ground. He has 7 touchdowns. Patton comes in, they're only scoring 8 points a game. They're giving up 37. So I think that's your big difference there. Polk should win this one easily. I've got them 42-6 over Patton.
Well, Shannon, we must be drinking out of the same water fountain. I've got Polk County a little desperate, if you will. They're not been playing up to their potential and their expectations. And I think they're ready for a little revenge. And who better to take out your frustration zone than Patton? So I have them 42-7.
All right, that was quick down the hall. Hickory at East Lincoln tonight. Mustangs undefeated, of course. Here in our power poll, we've got I done lost my power poll. Number 3 against 10 in the power poll. East Lincoln tonight 3-0. I think Hickory's 2-1.
Yeah.
On the season, East Lincoln tonight has beaten High Brighton, Forest View, and Lincoln, and Hickory has lost to Alexander Central and beat South Caldwell and Newton Conover.
So Hickory comes in averaging 34, giving up 29. East Lincoln averaging 38, only giving up 2 points a game. They're definitely one of the top teams in 3A right now, regardless of what any poll says. Quarterback Tyler Mizell, he's averaging 198 yards in the air. He has 9 touchdowns. The running back Chris Daly, the second, he's averaging 89 yards per game with 3 touchdowns. I think what's going to win this game is the defense for East Lincoln. I mean, you're only giving up 2 points a game. That says a lot for you. I think East Lincoln rolls 35-9 over Hickory. Plus, they're playing in Denver. That place is crazy to play at anyway.
Yeah.
It's different.
Well, I'm bought in on the East Lincoln this year. They seem to have a very good team, which is going to pose some problems down the road, playoff time for some teams that we know right here in Cleveland County. Hickory, a little suspicious of them. I have East Lincoln winning 42-7.
0-3 versus 0-3. North Iredale at Ford. Ford has had a 9-point loss against Bandy's. Got blown out by Maiden and West Lincoln. Now, North Iredale has a 7-point loss to Bunker Hill and got blown out by South Iredale and Lake Norman. Shannon?
Both teams are only averaging 9 points a game. North Iredale's giving up 37, Ford's giving up 42. But I like North Iredale here. I'm just going to put it a close game. And it's probably not that close. 21-13 over Ford.
Well, I'm going with the North Iredale Raiders over the Fred T. Ford Tigers by a score of 14-10, Shannon.
No tie?
No. Well, I started to call it 9 since they're both averaging 9. I was going to say it's going to end up tied at 9-9.
9-3, 6 field goals.
The Rebels of West Lincoln tonight on LincolnCounty.com, getting ready to go over David Potter and Jason Sane. They host Bandy's. Bandy's 1-2, West Lincoln 3-0. West Lincoln's beat North Lincoln, Cherryville, and Ford. Bandy's at 1-2 has lost to St. Stephen's and South Caldwell and beat Ford.
So Bandy's is averaging 20 points a game, giving up 26. Quarterback for them is Wyatt Wesson. He's averaging 122 yards in the air. He has 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. West Lincoln, they're averaging, Dennis, 45 points a game. They're only giving up 7 points a game. Their big running back up there is Mason Avery, probably one of the top ones in the West at least. He's averaging 173 on the ground with 10 touchdowns. As Avery goes, West Lincoln's going to go. I think they're on a roll right now, and playing at home will help them move to 4-0. West Lincoln 42, Bandy's 14.
Shannon, you must be cheating. You're looking at my paper.
I'm not looking at
I've got Terry Reinhardt Rebels winning 44-14.
44-14.
Yeah, okay. 44-14.
That'll work. All right, Dennis, our next game will be Thomas Jefferson at Bessemer City. Thomas Jefferson comes in at 0-3, a lot different start than what they've had in the past few years, and Bessemer City is 0-4. So, Kevin, we have 2 more winless teams here with Thomas Jefferson and Bessemer City.
Well, that game will be on the radio tonight. Waggy up in Forest City. But for you Bessemer City fans, for you folks listening on 92.9 tonight and want to listen, I know you folks can hear us over in Bessemer City really well. If you want to listen to that game, you're going to have to go online because you're not going to be able to pick the signal up to WAGYFM.com, or you can go to KTCBroadcasting.com. At the top of the page, just play the WAGY player from the top of our page. So for Bessemer City fans who want to listen to the game, you're not going to pick up the radio signal from Forest City. Probably you'll need to go online at ktcbroadcasting.com. Go to the Waggy links for that one. Paul Foster, Jonathan Bland have that. Yellow Jackets should have won Christ King. They had shots with Pine Lake and Kramer. Just couldn't do it, put it together. But Community School Davidson beat them pretty bad. Jefferson, on the other hand, 0-3. They've blanked the first 2 games by combined 61-0, and then last week Community School Davidson 38-14 for you guys on that one. So you already picked that one, right?
No, not yet.
Go ahead.
We were just talking about it. So the only thing I could find out for Thomas Jefferson online was they've averaging 4 points a game, giving up 33. points a game. Bessemer City comes in behind quarterback Jameer Holmes. He's throwing for just under 100 yards per game. He's rushing for 21 yards, and I think that's going to be the key tonight is the play of Jameer Holmes, and the Yellow Jackets, I think, will win. Bessemer City 28, Thomas Jefferson 6.
Have you ever stirred up a Yellow Jacket's nest?
Yes.
Well, there's one down in Bessemer City, and they are buzzing. And they want to show out, and they want to show off, and they're going to do it tonight against the Griffons by a score of 28-0.
All right, let's see. Crest 2-1 at Ashbrook. Ashbrook 1-2 at Crest night. Crest has beat Freedom and Shelby, lost to Burns. Ashbrook at 1-2 beat Concord, lost to Roberson and West Met.
The only thing I can find out about Ashbrook is that their leading running back is Carmelo Bess. And in his one game running the ball, he got 163 yards on the ground. That's all I can find on him. They're averaging 18, giving up 13 points. Now, Crest comes in after defeating Shelby 2 weeks ago in a shootout. The Chargers are averaging 35 a game. They're giving up, and they're also giving up 35 a game. But keep that stat in mind going forward through conference play. They're led by quarterback Natavius Husky. He's averaging 273 yards per game with 11 touchdowns. He has 63 yards per game on the ground. His main target, Javari Green, who had a huge game against Shelby where he had over 300 yards receiving by himself. He's averaging 158 with 9 touchdowns per game, or 158 yards per game, excuse me. Other targets for Husky are Brandon McCall and Malachi Addison, who I truly believe he'll start getting more. Malachi Addison will start getting more touches going forward. That's going to be the key for Crest because of his speed, and he's dangerous. So Crest should have no problem tonight. Let's put it that way. I think Crest wins 40-14 over Ashbrook.
Oh, okay. Well, traditionally in the past, even when Ashbrook had a very, very poor record, they were able to play the Chargers down to the wire. I don't know what it was about that. I guess they saw them, if we can beat Crest, we got, that makes our season. Rumor has it that Crest had a couple of players came in this week from Gaffney. I understand that one of them went back to Gaffney. I don't know if he didn't like the food in the lunchroom or what, but one of the players stayed. Now, they have sent, one of the guys was a very good wide receiver. And Green had 5 touchdowns last week. I don't know if this new kid is going to be a boom or a bust. I do know Ashbrook can sometimes be a thorn in the Chargers' side, but not tonight. Crest 48, Ashbrook 14.
All right. Shelby's at Cherville tonight. Shelby 1-3 on the season. They beat High Brighton, lost to Crest, AC Reynolds, and Kings Mountain. Cherville 2-2 on the season coming into this game. They beat Avery County and Blacksburg, lost to West Lincoln and Chase. Shannon?
Well, Shelby found the win column last week against High Brighton. They're looking to add another one this week. The goal lines are led by quarterback Dalen Lee. He's averaging 319 per game. He already has 15 touchdowns on the year. His main targets are Isaiah Bridges. He's averaging 136 yards per game with 8 touchdowns. Keith Hamilton, just under 100 yards per game, and Eli Falls. So last week, Shelby got running back Bryson Key back, and along with him and Tristan Tate, the other running back, that makes a good complement to the passing game for sure. Cherville, this is what I heard, Kevin. I think they've had some injuries and not too sure the extent of those injuries, but they come in just averaging just under 9 points a game, giving up 29. And I think they take another hit tonight. I've got Shelby winning 56-21 over Cherville.
Well, the line has had a thorn in their paw this year, and they're pretty angry. And now that they've got the thorn out and the paw's healed up a little bit, they're looking to go on the prowl. Unfortunately, the Iron Men are going to be more like tinfoil tonight for the Golden Lions, and I have Shelby winning. Take note here. Take note, Steve. 62-6 over the Cherville Ironmen.
Phew. Burns at Hunter Huss tonight. plays Highland Tech. If you guys got those directions right.
Yep.
Live on the internet, YouTube, Thompson and Funny in the game. Is Bulldogs 3-1 on the season. Highland Tech has lost to Carolina Bearcats, Hickory Grove Christian, Winston-Salem Carver, and Drone. The Bulldogs have beaten Forest View Crest, Watauga, and lost to Kings Mountain.
So the Bulldogs are led by quarterback Ben Mooney. He's averaging 222 yards per game. He has 8 touchdowns. His main targets are Ryan Thompson, L.J. Allen, and Kahari Surratt. On the ground, running back Jeremiah Norris, he's averaging just over 100 yards per game. He has 4 touchdowns, and even Lamont Wilson gets some carries in there too. Burns averaging 31, giving up 16. Highland Tech, their quarterback Micah Hinton and running back Kamari Shepard, that's their 2 weapons on offense. They're averaging 8 points a game, giving up over 40. Burns easily moves to 4-1 tonight. I've got them winning 49-6 over Highland Tech.
And I guess I'm up, and so is Burns. I have Burns scoring 56 tonight and taking a little mercy on Highland Tech and letting them have 14. Roll on, Bulldog.
All right, let's see. Do pull this up. All right, folks, the broadcast tonight, once again, Red Zone Radio live on the internet. Live on the internet tonight. I'll have highlights from the games and audio from local games. Then we will have stop that. Then we have games tonight. Waggy tonight is Thomas Jefferson at Bessemer City on 107.5 FM in Rutherford County, WAGYFM.com. Shelby tonight is at Cherryville on WCSL 92.9 FM, 1590 AM. Ashbrook at Crest tonight, WOHS 101.5 FM, 1390 AM. Jeff Jones and Robbie Roop got that call. Bandies at West Lincoln tonight, LincolnCounty.com. David Potter and Jason Sane getting set up over there at West Lincoln as we speak. And then, of course, the post-game show, Dennis and I, and maybe Will, who knows. But we'll talk to everyone at our games tonight. We've got 7 or 8 phone calls to talk about all these games tonight and what to look for next week coming up on that. All right, guys. Any other final thoughts before we get out of here?
First week of conference play, too.
First week of conference play. Let's see.
And teams that have been struggling to this point, hey, you got to start somewhere. Is it tonight or is the season in the tubes?
All right, JP, we're going to give it to you. You ready in there? Play some commercials? I think so. I think he's ready in there. Let's see.
Think your team better, but they lack skill. First snap, I lay your backs in the backfield. Your quarterback scared, I see it in his eyes. Sent the receiver in motion, that's just a disguise. My linebackers, they stepping up. Clog a hole, no letting up. Taking on no big blocks. On 4th down, we get big stops. My secondary is balling out. Your offense keeps stalling out. How many yards? Like none at all. Cause special teams don't punt the ball and it's gone. Never see me fair catch. I get a block and then I'm gone like a Learjet. My helmet on, pass strap tight.
The Big E. I'm outside. Here's a young couple leaving the putt-putt course. Your thoughts?
It's awesome. We feel like we're at the putt-putt course at the beach. You know, you got the exploding volcano, the statues, and the water are completely insane. It's awesome.
Now in